this special one. At least I should. Why didn't I? I do not know, but I did now. And at least we are unstoppable. And then watch this. He's going to throw this, and we're going to do over 100,000 or around 100,000 damage to him while he throws his special. Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, now time to cover the CCP beta version buff of Gladiator, and it is very, very spicy. Now, you've been through this process with me for quite a few champions. You know that if this material changes before it goes live, I will just make a whole separate video. If it does not, I'll just remove beta from the thumbnail, beta from the title, and I'll make a pinned comment letting you know the little things that have changed so we can just talk about it. And I have to tell you, I think, one, I'll actually be a little bit surprised if it does get changed. We'll see, though. That's not up for me to decide. And also, this is a very spicy buff. I'm going to show you 4 fights. I'm going to show you the really advanced way of playing him with that massive damage show in the intro. I'm going to show you some really cool utility that I think is very accessible and doesn't really affect his damage output much at all. He's very, very flexible. And then, of course, we'll place him in the tier list at the end of this video. All right, let's go ahead and do it. Instead of just telling you and reading all the changes to you, I like to show you gameplay. Let's go ahead and get in and we'll talk about how to play him, the changes as we go through. You can see there's about a 206,000 Star Lord here. This is just like basic test. And one of the things I really want to show you with this is how fast his ramp up now is, right? We're going to get those confidence buffs where the max increased potency has now been up to 5% for each of them. So that's significant. We're going to land that intimidate there with our heavy. You see that, right? And it's now a passive, which is great. And remember, he's got that passive stun off of his heavy, like America Chavez and Waspman champions like that. And then also you reach your ultra confidence now at 20, and you reach the other confidence, the lower level confidence, or is the unultra, at 10. So you can see when we have that unblockable buff, we are getting those huge bursts of damage. And then we went in and we threw our special, and Star-Lord is already dead. That was exceptionally fast. Yes, this is a rank 5, essentially ascended 6200 Gladiator. So, you know, keep that in mind, but you're going to see some other results that are very, very eye-opening here. Tons of damage with some basic immunities. Remember, he's got a 200% ability accuracy to his buffs, which isn't necessarily a neutralized immunity, but it's going to have to be one heck of a neutralize to get through there. So as you can see, we are getting up the intimidate and we're hitting into the block. And you can see this ramp is like pretty fast now. It's really, really good. It can allow you, I think it's going to open up some avenues to take some of those tougher, trickier fights. We'll talk about war and battlegrounds, all that, when we do the tier list placement. But you can see right here, now remember, we've won a fight with over 50% health, and I think that's the signature ability that allows us to have 4 additional charges. So that's why you're seeing the increased number of charges there, and we started the fight with that. And I think that can go up to 8, so keep that in mind. One of the advanced ways to start playing, one of the things that you'll learn, and I'm still trying to get better at it myself, is how to really utilize this unblockable mechanic as far as like maximizing your damage potential. But you see this, look at this, we have all these bursts that we're now going to get off of that because we were unblockable and we threw it. And then at the end of this fight, you're going to see me use the ultra confidence and the unstoppable, right? So we're not going to lose our confidence buffs here. So we're going to throw this. We have our unstoppable. Star-Lord's going to throw a special. Then watch that. Because we're hitting into Star-Lord, basically a 29,000, almost 30,000 burst of damage was done to Star-Lord. That's a slightly advanced way of playing him that I think is going to open it up and produce some really eye-popping numbers. We're going to go ahead and take a look at a whole fight where I do that and I play it that style, but I think that was about 700,000 health. We did have the White Tiger synergy there that adds like a fury buff or things like that if they're back against the wall. So it's nice, but it's far from essential. I did that fight without White Tiger and still had very, very similar results. Like I said, it's one of the, we'll talk about it more when I get to Battlegrounds, but one of the reasons why I'm not going to say he's going to be an amazing Battlegrounds champion, he may end up being one. But the reason why I'm not going to say that now is because a lot of the fights where they went sideways, it was due to the AI, or they just started taking 10, 15 seconds longer. And I'll show that to you here in this next fight. Now, this is going to be against future Ant-Man. And unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see it. They had to fix the HUD, I guess it's called, or something like that. But he now starts the fight with the signature ability where he gets his vigilance buff. And that's the buff that he normally gets off the SP2. It's really nice for a couple of reasons, right? One is you can now counter miss, which is great. That's great utility. 2 is it reduces the ability accuracy of armor ups on champions. Cool, there's definitely fights where that can matter. You could see that happening with future Ant-Man if that's how you wanted to play the fight. But now he also has that, it also provides a burst of damage, gives you true damage on your attack. So that's also really nice. There's a lot of reasons to go to the SP2. I really like the SP2 for just default styles of playing. But now that that's in the signature ability, and if I'm reading the signature ability right, as you get a higher sig, you're going to get that up to 15 seconds right at the start of the fight. So watch this. You're not going to see the vigilance buff. Just kind of trust me, it's there, and you're going to see future Ant-Man's not going to start with his armor up. Really, really cool when you're going against future Ant-Man. And then we're going to get ultra confident. I mean, we're going to get up to those 20 confidence buffs, right? And you're going to see how fast we're able to do it. And then we're going to attack into future Ant-Man's SP1s, doing this big burst of damage. It's a really, it's really fun. It's really cool. It kind of fits in with a super confident, kind of crazy character here. It's very enjoyable. Like I said, I'll talk about it a little bit more in the next fight though, with the negatives of it. But so we're taking advantage of the unblockable. We're taking advantage of the intimidate here, and you can see future Ant-Man's really just now getting those armor ups, but I am super confident, so I'm going to throw this special one. At least I should. Why didn't I? I do not know, but I did now, and at least we are unstoppable. And then watch this. He's going to throw this, and we're going to do over 100,000 or around 100,000 damage to him while he throws his special. We absolutely destroyed this future Ant-Man, and when they have animations like that, you're going to be able to take huge advantage of it, because he also, while he's unstoppable and he's in that state, has an 80% damage reduction now. It's not going to reduce red numbers, so you're going to want to be careful with this. This is similar to the Lady Deathstrike's mechanic, but the difference here is that you are doing amazing damage to the champion while that's happening. Now, I'm showing you this fight because I think it's important, because you know me, I always use the term, I don't hide the ball. I do not want to hide the ball. I think as you get skilled with him and you get very comfortable with the unstoppable mechanic and hitting into their specials. Additionally, once you get comfortable with the cooldown on the unblockable mechanic from the heavy, as you get used to that, I think you're going to produce some really cool numbers. I think you're going to do a lot of big numbers and some very eye-popping stuff. If I pull a 7-star Gladiator, you're going to see me really starting to invest in him, because he is a lot of fun too. But as I was talking about with Battlegrounds, you saw right there, I started having to bait specials. I don't know if it's them coming out of having an intimidate on them or what, but I often found the AI on the defenders felt very, very wonky, like more than what we're normally experiencing in the game. You're seeing right here though, this was like a 700,000 health future Ant-Man, and you're seeing the massive damage. This fight is going exceptionally well. And right now you might be asking yourself like, Vega, I thought this was the bad fight. Well, you're starting to see it go sideways. I don't know how to play it that well. I'm starting to take some damage on the special. This is maybe a higher ranked or higher attack value future Ant-Man. Another problem is this, is sometimes you end up in the scenario, and it's about to happen if it didn't already, where you are unstoppable, and the way to get them to throw a special is you have to leave yourself open. And in order to do that and punish them, you need them to throw a special. But if they don't, they might just combo you and start beating the heck out of you. I'm hoping to catch it here, because I know it's going to happen. Maybe it's right here. Let's see. I'm going to leave myself open. I whiffed the first part, so you don't want to do that. Watch this. So I left myself open. He attacks into me. I'm unstoppable, so I'm able to attack back into him. And then he just starts hitting into me. That's something that I think, one, might be something that you just have to accept could happen. And two, as you get better at playing him, I think you're going to respond to it and know how to handle it. Something we talk about all the time on this channel, right? The champions you know how to play well, you're going to do better with, because you know how to handle when things go sideways. Like, there was no reason for me to sit there and let him punch me in the face. It's just I was expecting and wanting him to throw a special. It didn't happen. I think that's something you got to assume the risk of that potentially happening, and then you're going to want to know how to handle it as you get more skilled with him, which I do think is possible. All right, now here's the other thing I wanted to show you. Now, the SP2's got that vigilance, right? And I think it was an incinerate coming off of it, which is great. Really powerful, gives you that true damage and the whole thing. Really, really cool. But the special one is something that I really want to pay attention to, because the special one is what gives you the unstoppable to go ahead and do that advanced style of playing him and all those massive numbers that you just saw. But also, it has a cold snap, and the cold snap is not a reduction in the ability accuracy evade. It is a cannot evade. So watch this, right? We're showing you, I did the buff video on Nightcrawler 10. I think it's gonna be an amazing dual threat. Telling everyone, don't spend a bunch of money, get the 6-star, have some fun with it. And watch this, now that we've got the cold snap on, you are never going to see him evade. It's not evade failed, he just doesn't evade. It's amazing, it's awesome. And the cold snap is long enough where you can see we're gonna be able to refresh it. Additionally, the fact that we are going unblockable allows us to just throw it when we need to and want to. It's a really cool mechanic. And then remember, you've got that passive stun off of the heavy, which is another opening for you to go ahead and throw it. It's really, really cool. I did not have very much trouble at all getting it up and then keeping up the cold snap so we could shut down that evade. I've told you, I think evade is back. There you go. proof and evidence. So that's a lot. There was a lot there. They did a fantastic job of, I think, updating him and making him very practical and very, very powerful. Let's go ahead and take a look at him on the initial tier list. Okay, this is where I've got him, right? Like, you know my tier list, hopefully by now. You know how incredible it is. Spreadsheet Wizards, MCoC, Illuminati, a phenomenal job. Thank you to all of them. And you know that you can configure this. You can, if you don't like Alliance War, you get rid of Alliance War. You get rid of Battlegrounds. You get rid of Battlegrounds. We've given them scores on all of these things. It's really, really amazing. His general use score actually came out really good, and partially because this is going to be his initial entry. You know I like to go conservative. But his flow score is phenomenal. His like general score, as far as like what abilities are in there, right? Remember, he's got that minus 200 ability accuracy or plus 200 ability accuracy on his buffs. So it's not an immunity to neutralize, but man, that's going to help him with neutralize, but also any sort of ability accuracy reduction or something like that. That is going to have to be an insane ability accuracy reduction to get those buffs to not come up. So he's really resilient in that way. And then he has some of those he has two of those power manipulation immunities that often come with cosmic champions. So helping him take tech and some nodes and things like that. And then he's very, very powerful. You saw the ramp was relatively quick. None of this is like, again, I'm not scared this is going to get tuned down. I actually feel really confident in it. Oh, that just hit me, and it's late at night. But no, seriously, it feels great. He's an absolute blast to play. He has the mist mechanic off his SP2, and if you have it in his signature ability, if you have a signature ability high, you're going to get that really nice true damage there. So there's a big benefit to that. But it's the SP1 playstyle with the Unstoppable that's giving you that ability to do the damage when the opponent throws their special attack. So if you want to play him the super advanced way, you can just do that with your SP1, which also has a really nice cold snap off of it. So he's a very resilient champion now too. Like what is being asked or what you're asking him to do, he now has the abilities and the flow to back it up. I very much like this champion. I think this is a phenomenal buff. It's honestly the only reason he's not higher, and this is where a real time will tell situation, because so much of it's the meta, the defenders, what's being asked of us, and what people are placing on us, is his Battlegrounds and his Alliance score. Right now, I have him as a good, but far from necessary or far from dominant champion in either of those modes. If he goes up at all in either of them, you're going to see him climb up. I don't think we're going to see him in tier above all, but that's definitely going to be a time will tell, and I really would be shocked. I will be absolutely shocked if anytime soon we see him in super premium, because I think it's going to take the meta really shifting over a long period of time, and for some reason like defenders or something like that. But you saw the damage, you saw the resiliency, you saw that you don't have to play him that ultra confident punishing specials way. I showed you that, right? The SP2 has fantastic damage off it. So if you want to play him a little more simply, a little more conservatively, a little more basically, you can do that, get phenomenal, great results. And if you want to play them a little more aggressively, as you get more skilled with them, you're going to pull off some great, awesome red numbers. They also even changed his burst damage, so everything is energy, which was just, what a wonderful, wonderful call by the Balance team. It's just one of those things where as a person who analyzes champions and their kits and things like that, or I'm like, yes, thank you, well done, great job, fantastic. I like him. As usual, though, let me know what we think we got right. Let me know what we think we got wrong. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.